What's happening, folks? Back for another music video reaction, and we're going to watch another ska music video. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Ryan, not only for suggesting that I bring my Patreon and video reactions in line with my audio reactions on YouTube, which is to say to do more punk and ska reactions in general, but also specifically for what we're about to see, though it is indirect, which is to say he had me react to a tune by Call Me Malcolm, the video for their Dead Men Take No Pills. And that, as I came to understand, is from Bad Time Records. Now, I had a lot of fun with that song. Like a lot of ska bands, they seemed to be very cheeky, a bit of comedy along the way, but there was also great brass, and I like the stylings, and so I figure if more Bad Time Records releases are in a similar vein, I would be curious to check them out. So one such video that was then recommended to me once I subscribed to Bad Time Records here on YouTube was a video by Flying Raccoon Suit, a band name I absolutely love, and it's called Swan Song. So I did a little poking around on Discogs, and I discovered they're an indie ska band from Mississippi. Their first two albums were self-released. I believe the first one was 2016, so they're roughly a decade-old band. And their most recent album, their third album, is indeed on Bad Time Records, and it's called Moonflower from 2023, and Swan Song is one of the tracks on it. So a swan song, it typically refers to the last defining act of something, often in some sort of creative enterprise or capacity, though it is also used for the last significant act of an entity or a living being before they die. So I do wonder, given the little bit of this video that I saw when I realized, oh, this sounds good, I'd like to react to this, I wonder if the state of the house, and as you'll see, there's some demolition that goes on once they go inside the house, I wonder how that might relate to the lyrics. I didn't listen for long enough to really catch any lines significantly, certainly not any that I remember now a couple weeks later as I go to do this. But yes, I don't know anything about this band beyond just the little bit of information I saw on YouTube, or rather, sorry, Discogs. I was going to say Wikipedia, then I said YouTube, and neither of them were correct. But yes, I know the lead singer's name is Jessica, and I think there used to be one additional member in the band who's no longer in the band because there's one crossed out name on the Discogs page, but I think there's still a five-piece if I picked up on that correctly. So with no further ado, let's listen to Flying Raccoon Suit, an indie ska band from Mississippi, and their 2023 song, Swan Song, and this is the official video.
Hey, Jess. Where are we supposed to practice?
Walking on air, but it's getting thin. Is complacency so permanent?
So I hate to pause immediately after starting, but two things stood out to me, and this is just roughly about what I watched before I said, wait, you know what, I'm not going to watch the rest of this because I'd like to do it in reaction form. Number one, we see my man here, another member of the band, clearly is hitting the wall as if he's demolishing the house, but with a toy hammer, it looked like. And I think another member was using a keyboard. So there's already a bit of comedy and a bit of, cartoonish reality meets real life, because the house looks dilapidated and it's run down, and there's sort of this harsh socioeconomic reality. The foliage is grown over, and it looks like nature's reclaiming the space where humans once lived. And yet, as I said, there's already a bit of comedy with this toy hammer and with someone hitting the ceiling with a keyboard. Secondly, what I do also notice is that it looks like everybody's moving in slow motion, like this is in fact filmed in a little bit of slow motion, but her mouth is moving in time with the regular speed vocals. So I wonder if maybe they filmed this like faster than normal and then slowed it down for the video editing such that her movements match the actual vocals, but when they shot it, she maybe did it like 1.5 times speed. I'm not sure, but there's this weird dynamic between it looking like people are moving in slow motion, but her mouth is still in time with the lyrics.
Walking on air, but it's getting thin. Is complacency so permanent? Leaving my well wishes by the stairs. Motivation so hard to find. Your sympathy's no friend of mine. Over now, but was it ever there?
But okay, so we do already have some crossover between the lyrics and the visuals, talking about something that, seems to be finished or done with, but was it really ever there? And so the idea of a relationship immediately comes to mind, one that perhaps wasn't what you thought it was when you were in it, and you're only realizing this by the time it's actually over. But then also this house that seems to be in the process of getting destroyed completely, and perhaps once was used as a residence, but there's little evidence of that now, and maybe it wasn't what it was supposed to be to begin with. So again, there seems to be some metaphorical imagery of the house as it relates maybe to a relationship. And I believe she said something about breaking glass while the guy smashed the glass while one of the trombonists. But again, people who know me will know I'm a big fan of ska music, and in particular ska music with a notable brass component, so we already have some of that.
This feels right. Sunken faces staring through the glass. Not meant to last. Not meant to last. This constant headache, constant fear, constant ringing out from year to year. All as we wore clothes not made to weather. Creature comforts of my time all pave the way to leave me blind. The remnants of the era all taste bitter. Veins are running.
So I'm now wondering, is this one of those videos? It was like a famous song. Who was it? Lisa Loeb or something from the 90s, where the entire video was one single shot. Of course, there's some famous movie scenes. Like there's a scene in Goodfellas where it's this long single shot, and that requires a lot of acting, and you got to make sure you get everything right because you can't edit or cut it together to make it work. So already I wonder if we're going to have one long trailing shot from room to room with people continually repositioning himself. Like he was in a different room, and then she keeps walking and suddenly he comes out from this other room. And I think the guy on the drums was maybe also the guy with the keyboard at the beginning. But yes, obviously there's a lot of hustling and bustling behind the camera while she continues to give us the continuity, walking steadily from room to room.
To leave me blind, the remnants of the era all taste bitter. Veins are running empty, the emptiness feels right. Sunken faces staring through the glass. Not meant to last. Not meant to last. No perfect swan song, no defiance. And there's
All right, man. So again, no perfect swan song. So, it's not even a swan song. It's not even this like, oh, this last significant endeavor that sort of characterizes the thing that came before it as it comes to an end, but saying maybe that it ended without much fanfare or unexpectedly or inappropriately. It just, it didn't have the send off that maybe it should have. So I'm thinking like conceptually, and suddenly we move back outside to the kitchen area, and my man is trying to demolish a wall by using cartoonish style punches. I was not prepared for that.
swan song, no defiance. And there's nothing left that I can say. No perfect swan song, no defiance. Just lay me down and turn the page.
I promise I'll back it up because this guitar riff is very nice and the track just got a slightly more serious sound. But two things. One, like lay me down and turn the page, suddenly sort of using a metaphor of her as a book, like a chapter in someone's life, and saying, look, just move on, just turn the page and go on to something else because this isn't the case anymore. This isn't a thing anymore. But then that guy falling, it's like, maybe it's legit, like, or maybe it's intentional, maybe it was choreographed, but it felt very real. It felt like, oh man, like he just fell over, but we got to do this whole thing in one shot, so just keep filming.
Page.
little saxophone flourish right there. There was something about some part of the brass right there which really went on a nice flourish. I really think that was shot in two different speeds. I think the opening and the ending right here were in real speed, and everything in between that, the one long shot through the house, was shot like, again, maybe at 1.5 speed, or, done faster than the actual song, and then slowed down to give it that sort of weird time bent or stretched effect. So yeah, number one, I like her vocals a lot. I think she gave a really compelling performance vocally, and I like, there's a bit of emotional mystery. Now she's saying in the end that she's letting go. This isn't, there's no swan song. It's done. And turn the page, put down the book. But there does seem to be a lot of feeling in some of the lines that she delivers, so it feels like there's a, emotional complexity even as she's saying that it's done. And secondarily, as I said, lots of comedy, although by the end there were some more legitimate demolition, people using the crowbar and a sledgehammer more forcefully and actually, causing damage on the wall. But we also had someone sort of doing calisthenic punches against the wall and, using a toy hammer and, hitting the ceiling inexplicably with a keyboard. So like with a lot of ska and even more ska videos, or visual performances, I think we do get some comedy here. But yeah, I like their style. I do wonder, that little flourish I mentioned, maybe it wasn't a saxophone, maybe it was a trumpet. Either way, I love their brass section in particular. It looks like they had maybe 3 people on brass, but if it's a 5-piece, then I wonder if that's the case, because there were also a couple people on guitar, it looked like, or maybe that was a guitar and a bass in that one section. So yeah, I don't know exactly their lineup and all the different parts. Maybe someone does both brass and guitar, or they have people who play multiple instruments. But I really love the choreography of the video, and obviously that would take a bit of planning. Okay, we're going to move to this room and then this room, and you need to run behind the camera and then come out of this other room. So I like the creativity of the video as well. So yeah, shout out to Flying Raccoon Suit, shout out to Bad Time Records. I will continue to check out some more stuff from this label because I like when I can find, again, new punk rock, new ska. So I'm here for all of it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.